Brock Purdy impressed me, family, and he impressed me for this reason. He didn't play well. I'll establish that. But he played well enough to win. And the sooner that you understand the difference, the better it is for everybody. What did we ask Brock Purdy to do this season? We said, can Brock Purdy win without Deebo Samuel? Well, guess what? He did that. We said, can Brock Purdy come from behind when that team is trailing? Well, guess what? He did that too. I will not criticize Brock Purdy for getting help. Christian McCaffrey, he constituted 36% of the Niners offense. But guess what? Aaron Jones constituted 35% of the Packers offense. I will not criticize an individual for being helped, particularly when the opposing quarterback got help too. What else do I notice? On that game-winning drive by Brock Purdy, that game-winning drive where he had to go 69 yards down the field, Brock Purdy constituted 58 of those yards, 46 through the air, 11 on the ground. But what was even more fascinating was in the most pivotal of moments, Brock Purdy went 6 for 7 on that drive to 5 different receivers. After George Kittle had a pivotal, momentum-stopping 2nd and 5 drop, Brock Purdy said it's all good, found Ayuk. Brock Purdy said it's all good, found Conley. Brock Purdy said it's all good, found Kittle once again. Brock Purdy said it's all good, found McCaffrey once again, and the Niners won. We might talk for a long time about Brock Purdy's almost interceptions. Let's just make sure we talk a lot about Jordan Love's actual interceptions. I was impressed. Not because Brock Purdy played well, but Brock Purdy played well enough to win. Niners advance. James Jones.
That boy's something else. That boy is something else.
James Jones.
What's the question? Impressed?
No, hold on. Because you text me after the game. You text me, you hit my line after the game. You said, hey, that was a close one.
You put that together really well right there.
James Jones, were you impressed by Brock Purdy and the Niners win?
You know, I'm trying not to come across as a hater. You know what I mean?
Try hard.
Because they did win the game.
Be honest.
No, he did not impress me at all. At all, right?
Oh.
Yes, they won the football game. Yes, you usually tend to win football games when the other team makes mistakes. Yes, right? The Packers, young football team, made mistakes, right? 2 of the best 2 throws Brock Purdy threw to us, right? We just didn't catch them, right? We caught those against Dak Prescott, and the game ended up the way the game ended up, right? Sometimes, like I always say, to win championships, you need some luck on your side. He had some luck on his side in that game. But impress me? No. If you truly ask me, Brock Purdy, for 3.5 quarters, was the worst player on the field.
Oh, don't do that.
No, that's true.
I'm keeping it 100 with you. For 3.5 quarters until that last drive, he was the worst player on the field for the San Francisco 49ers. They were in a hole losing the football game because of him. And it really could have been out of hand if the Packers just made the simple plays. It wasn't even hard plays. He threw the football straight to Savage. He threw the football straight to Nixon. So, but when you ask me impressed, no, I'm not impressed with you. When 3.5 quarters, you are the worst player on the football field. And that's what I seen with my own 2 eyes, right? For 3.5 quarters, Jordan Love was way better than him. For 3.5 quarters, on the offensive side of the ball, Christian McCaffrey was the best player on the offensive side of the ball. And we can go on down the line. He made the plays when he had to make the plays. I'm going to give the man his credit for that drive.
I didn't hear that. Get a little bit louder.
He made the plays when he had to make the plays, so I'm going to give the man his credit for that drive. But when you talk about impressed, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm absolutely
I heard you the first time, James. George
absolutely not.
I've only been to Wisconsin once.
You know what I'm saying? You see I'm still in my feelings.
I've never been to Green Bay, so it doesn't matter to me. I just want to see what the standard is here because I get very confused. We move the goalposts around for whatever we want it to be convenient for. So what is Brock Purdy the best at?
I didn't say he's the best.
No. What does Brock Purdy do the best? What does he do the best?
Win, I guess.
Win.
I don't say he's the best at anything.
Win. No. Not better than other people. Like, what is his best attribute? Win. He wins.
Yeah, win.
Okay, cool. So it don't matter how he played. But that is a negative for other quarterbacks. So I just want to make sure today, again, this is a very monumental day on the 22nd of January, 2024, that the standard is for impressed, you just win the game. Correct? I mean, not for me, but I'm asking, like, that's what it sounds like.
So I'm not going to be talked into something.
No.
I'm not going to be led to say something.
You just said. You just said you are impressed that he won the game, that he made the plays he needed to make at the end of the game to move on to the NFC Championship game. Cool. So that means if you win the game, if your best attribute isn't throwing the ball, isn't necessarily situational football throughout the game, isn't not putting your team in a hole, isn't relying on the talent around you, isn't relying on your defense to make a huge play. If that's not the standard, then cool, yeah, I think you have to be impressed because he is clutch. And sometimes that's all you need. We had a very big conversation, a very long conversation about how talented he is before this game last week. And the argument was he's smart, he doesn't make the wrong play, he wins games. What you cannot say about Brock Purdy is that he doesn't win games. That is what he has shown the ability to do. So how he plays during the game doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, this was supposed to be a blowout.
That's what they told me.
That's what I'm saying.
Green Bay was not even supposed to be in this game. And it came down to the wire because of Brock Purdy, because we all watched the game and saw that Brock Purdy was the reason that they were not blowing them out. And then he made the plays to win the game. So I can't say I'm not impressed or impressed because this is exactly what Brock Purdy is to me. He is somebody that goes and wins games. Do I think he is more talented than some of these other guys? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I think Jordan Love is more physically talented. Yeah. But Jordan Love made a mistake in the clutch moment that he should not have made. I don't care about any of the other ones except for the one at the end of the game because he had an opportunity to put his team in a position to not lose that game, and he threw the ball away.
Could have been a tie game, too.
Sure. But at the end of the day, San Francisco's playing next weekend, and Green Bay isn't.
It's true.
And so, I just want to make sure we have established that just winning is enough. No matter how you play during the game or how much you rely on other players or what the scheme is or what the defense does, if you, as the quarterback, win the game, you are impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to say he wasn't impressive at all.
Thank you.
Right. Watching that game, he had some bad reads and some bad throws.
Yes, sir.
I mean, like, awful. And a lot of them picks that the Packers picked off with Dak Prescott, they dropped.
They did.
They dropped like 3 of them.
Right.
That could have changed the game and put the game away. So he didn't look impressive to me, and I will give him some, I guess, grace because he is a young quarterback. The issues with the ball, for some reason, with the weather, right? He had the glove on. Obviously, he had the glove on.
Everybody in the rain, though.
Well, I'm just saying, right? Yeah. He was trying to figure it out. Glove on, glove off, trying to figure it out. And then the last drive, though, he did show up.
Yes, he did.
But when you say impressive, against a better team and not say anything about your Packers because they are a young team.
Right.
And I think that they're overachievers for this year.
Yep.
Beginning of the year, we asked, are we going to pay Jordan Love? And we were like, well, why? I mean, what has he done?
True that.
So going forward, I think he's going to be better, right? I don't think if he played the Packers next year and play like that, I think they lose, right? So going against an inexperienced team, the youngest team in the playoffs at that, right? That you got away with.
Yep.
Okay, so to be impressive, nah, not at all.
Here's what's interesting. Like, I'm realistic. I don't disagree really with nothing Shady said. Joy, you asked a lot of rhetorical questions, but for the most part, I don't really disagree with anything you said either. I don't think Brock Purdy played well. He didn't. I'm just saying he played well enough to win.
You know why I asked rhetorical questions?
Go ahead.
Because we said all this about Jalen Hurts last year. And this year. And what happened?
They stopped winning.
Why did they stop winning?
I would say because Hurts didn't make the plays that he needed to make.
Was he making those plays when they were winning?
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking these rhetorical questions is if that's the standard, then you should be actually very worried about Brock Purdy. Not impressed, very concerned. Because when we see other teams play with their quarterbacks play that way and put themselves in holes and look terrible throughout the game, and the other team is not able to take advantage of those mistakes, which obviously you need luck and all those things, like that's cool until you run into a team that doesn't drop those balls.
Agreed. I agree. I said this to the producers before the show. The Packers and the Bucs were the only team the Niners were going to beat in the playoffs playing like that. So Brock Purdy, be happy you saw the Packers because the Packers was the only team and the Bucs was the only team you're going to beat playing like that. But the thing about it is, and we said this all season, I wanted to see Brock, you go out there and win without Debo. I wanted to see it. And he did it. We all wanted to see, because we said that the Niners, they can only play from ahead, they can only play from in front. We all wanted to see the Niners win coming from behind. Shady, you made a statement. I didn't fully agree with it, but to some degree we saw it. You said you want to see Brock Purdy win a game when he plays bad. We said that. People on the internet, they didn't understand what you were saying because they only watched the clip. I understood what you were saying. Like, can you overcome? Family, he did that. I won't say he sucked, but he did not play well for 3 quarters. So checks the box that Shady wanted to see, checks the box that Joy wanted to see, and that I wanted to see. You don't play well. Then we want to talk about the Packers drops. Please do. But we got to talk about the Niners drops, too. Y'all have all been in that situation before. 2nd and 5, got to have it. Brock Purdy, if you lose this game, your future will be in question. George Kittle, your all-pro, years running, drops the ball. Now it's 3rd and 5. Brock Purdy, you got to have it. And you make the best throw of what I will say your career. Brandon Ayuk. Nobody is open except the check down. You hit Ayuk. Now it's 1st and 10. And you throw to Chris Conley? Who is Chris Conley, family? I don't even know who that is, and I love the Niners. Then you get the 1st down, and you throw it again, which also tells me Shanahan has faith in you. Because don't act like McCaffrey got 2 carries that game-winning drive. 2 carries. 2 of them. Don't let people rewrite the narrative of what happened on that last drive. 2 carries, and Brock Purdy threw it 7 times. And the only incompletion was a George Kittle drop. So my last thought I'll say is this, and James Jones, obviously, it seems like you're eager to speak.
They might have been rusty, too, though, because they ain't played since, what, week 18?
Agreed. And the Niners were, the Ravens were rusty, too. Lamar Jackson said it. But my last thought I'll say is this, James Jones, is it seems like we want to judge Brock Purdy off of his film when his film is bad and judge him off of his results when his results are bad. So we always want to look for the bad. Well, the film was bad against the Packers, judge him off the film. Well, the results were bad against the Vikings and the Bengals, judge him off the results. Pick one, fam. Either judge him off the film or judge him off the results. But don't judge him off the film when the film is bad, then judge him off the results when the results are bad, James Jones.
Like I said, I didn't want to hate today. I don't want to hate on the young fella. That's why I really, truly hate these quarterback stats. And I really mean W's. Because once a quarterback gets a W, like we just killed, arguably, and we all sit up here and say the 2nd best quarter in football because he did not win. And then we want to sit up here and get this man and say you're impressive and all this credit. And he was the worst player on the field for 3.5 quarters.
Bigger, here's my thing. Here's why I got such an issue with what you're saying. I got the biggest issue I think I'll have today with what he's saying.
Play well.
But let's stay in this game because I'm not going to argue about that game. We just spent 25 minutes doing it. Jordan Love, he threw a pick in the 3rd quarter. It gave the Niners 3 points. That's a drive where y'all should have went down the field and won the game.
No question.
He threw a pick, Dre Greenlaw, gave the Niners 3 points.
Defense.
And then the Niners go down and score. Remember, Brock Purdy had 1 possession too. He went down the field and he scored on his. What Jordan Love do on his last one? 2 timeouts left, a minute left, 1st down. He threw it across his body in a triple coverage pick. Brock Purdy didn't do that. So I don't have an issue with quarterback being a winning or losing stat because Brock Purdy had to go win the game, and he did. Jordan Love had to go win the game, and he threw a pick. So if we want to say we weren't impressed with Brock Purdy, what were we by Jordan Love? We couldn't have been impressed by Jordan Love.
Jordan Love balled that whole game.
Boy, 2 picks?
But this is what I'm saying, though. Like,
2 picks?
we
the
change this all the
watched all
time.
of it.
Like Josh Allen outplayed Jalen Hurts in that game, but Jalen Hurts won the game.
Yep.
All season, we're like, we don't even want to count that as a good performance because of the way that Josh Allen outplayed him during the game. I keep bringing up Jalen Hurts because it was the first thing that popped in my mind. Everything we're saying about Brock Purdy is what we said about the Eagles. So if you want to say it's rusty, like, cool, okay. I don't know how you leave that game feeling better about Brock Purdy. I don't know what I learned about Brock Purdy in that game.
He can come from behind.
He can come from behind.
Learn that. And he can win without Debo.
And he can.
So, Acho.
He didn't look the same either on that game. I didn't know who the Brock Purdy was right there.
I agree, but
From when I've been watching Brock Purdy, I was like, who's this dude? He looked.
But we can't say we didn't learn anything.
The last 3 games,
But
Baltimore.
I'm just
We
saying.
learned some things.
Correct,
How
we
do you
learned some
truly
things.
feel about Brock Purdy today?
I feel worse about the Niners, and we're going to get to that topic later. I do not. I'm lying to myself.
Plus, it's the Broncos or the Niners you're more worried about?
Both. Because the Niners' defense was not suffocating nearly enough. You allowed Aaron Jones to rush for $118. You ain't giving up over 100 yards to a running back in 50 straight games. So I feel worse about them than the defense. It didn't suffocate enough. And I do feel worse about Brock. I'm not going to lie to myself.
So how are you impressed if you feel worse?
Because he played well enough to win. James, I don't know, and you should know this better than anybody at this desk, is Jordan Love's last play was a pick. It was a pick.
It's just for me, like,
it was a pick.
If I go through a football game and I drop 3 footballs and my first 3 quarters is terrible, and I catch a game winner, I'm not walking in there feeling real good about myself. I didn't impress myself today.
Sure.
You was garbage today, Jones. You made one catch.
So game-winning catch.
He had one drive in that football game.
Winning drive, Jay. Like, how does that
That's
not
what I'm
matter?
saying. Winning is all that matters.
not matter?
Winning is all that matters. So if Josh wins gets to a Super Bowl, he should be the greatest quarterback in the league.
It would be a completely different conversation today. Eli Manning will get into the Hall of Fame family because he won 2 of them things. I think he was 500, Andy, his whole career. I think it's like 120 and 120. Like, he is average, but he won 2 games, and he going into the Hall, and rightfully so. In my mind, winning is all that matters.
So hold on.
Talk to me.
Because the man, he's running a well-oiled machine. The man has a really good football team.
He does.
Right.
Yes, he does.
He does, absolutely.
The only reason they were in that football game is because he has a really good football team around him, because for 3.5 quarters, he played garbage. We agree on that?
I don't agree on the first half because we're acting like Brock Purdy put him out of the game. That's what's weird to me. Y'all keep acting like
I'm just saying
it was not going to be a blowout.
You were about to bet me.
I thought it should have been.
It was going to be a double digit.
I thought it was going to be a blowout.
What I'm saying is the reason why what you're saying, I believe the Packers is a solid football team, but the reason why what you're saying is the game is so close is Brock Purdy was not playing well.
Yes.
You understand? For 3.5 quarters. Because you keep on saying one drive. That's the only drive you brought up. So 3.5 quarters.
You can't say he ain't look bad, though. He looked bad. He was throwing the ball in the dirt. He was going everywhere.
He did.
High, everywhere.
The only tension I have is when James Jones says, he was the reason that the Packers...
He was for 3.5 quarters.
No, to me,
was the reason what?
He was the reason that the Packers were way ahead or the Packers had a lead. No, the fact that the freaking Niners couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Well, yeah,
Just let them go.
that's the thing.
You can't be about the defense.
That's the thing, though.
You can't be about the defense.
When your quarterback's playing so bad, you need your defense to play good.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.